Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into today's video. I'm going to be going over how I made over $10,000 this week in the futures market trading in Q. And I did take one trade on gold. I'm not going to review that because it was a tiny trade, but I'm going to be going over the strategies that I used specifically today. And today is Friday, September 5th, on how I made the majority of my profit today. Okay, because literally more than 50% of my profit I made this week was from today. I took 4 trades, a little bit more than I usually do, but these were crazy good setups. I top ticked the entire day, called high of day, took IFVG trades as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, so here's our first trade. I took this right after the news candle printed. So today we had NFP, and we dropped this candle right here at 8:30. I marked out the high and the low. And essentially what you want to do for these is you want to wait for one side of the candle to sweep and then try to target the other. This case was a little bit different, and I'll explain why. So first of all, the high got swept. This wasn't a crazy candle. It was 77 points, nothing crazy. We ended up immediately sweeping. We didn't even form a fair value gap on the 1 minute, and we ended up rallying higher. Now, here's something I was noticing. We had a massive bearish SMT sitting with ES. I believe ES was literally at all-time highs at this point. We swept out some higher time frame draws on liquidity over here on ES, but not in Q. So yeah. And then I scaled down to the 30-second time frame. So I look here and I say, all right, we have a fair value gap and it got inversed. So I waited for the close below, and we got the close right here. So I threw in a short position with my stop loss at the high. Now the take profit for this was low-key different. All right, usually you can target like the 1 minute, like the 1 minute fair value gap by the candle. This one didn't create one. You could also target a data low, but let me tell you why I didn't do that. I scaled down to the 30-second. I was looking for a nice little 2 risk to reward, targeting this fair value gap that you can see right here. This was a very solid area to target. But I did note that we did sweep out liquidity with this low. So we already ran lower liquidity. We inversed. And then I'm looking and I see that ES taps into this fair value gap. Now this is very important. If you guys aren't doing this already, you should be doing this. Have the chart side by side, and if you see that on ES we go and trade into the fair value gap right here and reject, or we trade into it, you're not going to still be anticipating it to draw into there. So the second I saw that, I just decided to TP, and I'm very glad I did, because the second we threw in that SMT, we reversed and ran for what would have been my stop if I didn't take profit. So that was the first trade of the day. That was a win right at pre-market. Okay, so before we go into the next trade on how I top ticked the entire day, what we need to look at is a volume imbalance. So if you're not familiar with what a volume imbalance is, it's simply when you have a gap of candles. So like here's a candle body, and you have straight just wicks overlapping. So it's like a fair value gap, but different. So straight wicks, okay? There's a gap where there's no candle here. You want to mark out the high and the low and the 50%. So I was looking at the low as my manipulation. So when I scale back lower, I'm anticipating that this is my draw on liquidity. As you can see right here, I posted this morning, I'm looking for the volume imbalance above us to get traded into. Also looking for data low to get traded into. Market comes close to these, I'm looking to do a continuation to the level. So as you can see, we have volume imbalance up here that I just marked out. Now, let's wait for the market to trade up into it. Bang. All right, so now I'm looking for shorts. Right here, I'm gonna scale down. Oops. Scaling down. Okay, nothing here. Actually, there is a 15-second, but this is one I took my trade off of. I went to the 15-second. I think I accidentally said that twice. But yes, 15-second fair value gap right here. Now, I'm looking at it like this. 15-second fair value gap gets closed below. We also left a swing low in here that got displaced through market structure shift. I don't really anticipate price to return to this level. I'm not sure if it did. We'll see in a second. But ended up taking the close below. One of my accounts, low key, I just entered the trade like right here off of straight conviction. All right, forgot to mention that. I think it was this right here. I entered straight, like strictly off of conviction. One account was a little bit of a higher fill, somewhere around here. Straight conviction that we would just go lower. There was nothing telling me we were going to go higher. We already hit our objective that was higher. So we had to distribute to the other pool of liquidity. So I literally just threw in a short position. I was willing to take the risk. I just like had that gut feeling it would hit. So yeah, and then there was another trade I took based off of this 15-second gap on my other account. So I don't copy trade a lot of the top and bottom tick stuff. Sometimes I do. In this case, I didn't. But when we trade back into it, let's see, bang. This is where I was going short again. So 15-second got traded back into, and that is like the most perfect AEM setup. So stop loss sitting at the high, and then targeting, I believe, a 5-minute gap or something. Yeah, right before this 5-minute fair value gap, that is what I was targeting. So when we scale back down, you can see how this plays out. Okay, almost stops me out here. If you guys saw my story today, you would have saw this trade in progress, and you would have seen it literally go. And it missed my TP by a point. I stayed in the trade though. It hit my take profit right before market open, reswept out the highs, and then formed a, just a dump. Okay. And for my take profit here, I was going to hold for data low all the way down here, but my consistency rule would have gotten cooked. Missed out on bread because of a freaking consistency rule, but it's okay. But yeah, so now we are looking, I'm still in this trade, by the way. So this trade, I TP'd on my fundeds, a nice little 2 risk to reward. Now here, I'm still in this trade. And what I was targeting here was a 5 or 15 minute, I believe. Let's see the 15. Yep. So you can see right here, this is a 15-minute fair value gap, just targeting that in case we wanted to reverse off of that. This gets really interesting, by the way. So we can see market trades, takes profit, all right, to the tick, takes profit, then starts a reversal. We go to the 30-second, and you see a fair value gap. And then I pre-fired the entry slightly. And we were, yeah, so we were trading right up here. I entered. I got like a 6-7 point advantage, and I entered the trade a little bit early. Stop loss sitting right here for a slightly over 1-to-1. I was going to hold this out for these highs, but then I logically thought, we already ran to our draw on liquidity. Why would we run back? Okay, I want to continue for data low, or just some sort of rebalance of this range, because when we look at this, mark out the 50%. Okay, technically we rebalanced a little bit down here, but I still, we have fair value gaps down here and stuff that we need to trade into. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, bet I'm going to long, but I'm not going to go for like some crazy TP. I'm just going to go for like a little 20-point trade, and bang. Okay. And now we start dumping. I can't remember. This is when I got off the charts, but there we go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 trades right there. Those are the trades I took, and you can see how well this volume imbalance is holding, because straight up just dump for the rest of the day. Here's another good trade you could have taken, is when the market came up, and you see this fair value gap right here. I know it's a 30-second, but we came up, rebalanced it, and then if we look here, 30-second, bang, inverse. Would have thrown in your short right here with the stop loss setting at the high, targeting data low, or like this fair value gap, something like that. A little continuation trade. Bang. Would have been super clean. I wouldn't be looking to reverse and go for longs at data low, just because all our draws have been hit. I anticipate kind of just us to continue lower. So yeah, that is literally a full analysis of all the trades I took today. And I want to come on here and just show this because it makes me feel good as a mentor, but look at this. Bang. Payout, payout, payouts. Another past account, and this guy right here floated 7K on the day. After getting his first payout, then he got a second payout, and then today he's up 7K. Absolutely insane, and we checked the profits. Look at that. He TP'd, I guess, at 5K, but yeah, people absolutely crushing it. Look at this P&L calendar, straight payouts. Hope to break 30K this month. Like, crazy numbers, mentorship students killing it. Absolutely insane. Just want to come out here and shout out everybody inside of the Capital Academy. Proud of all these people. Shout out to all of you guys. You guys are crushing it. and it's paying off. So yeah, if you have any questions about the trades I took today or any questions at all, go to the free Discord in the bio and yeah, ask any questions you got and I got you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Chicago vlog dropping tomorrow. Peace.